I think the most rewarding thing is to watch the transformation in the lives of the people I serve and to see the impact in their lives and the success that they achieve. This for me has no price. For example, I worked with a client who couldn't pass any interviews, and he was in a moment of despair, without hope. He's saving.
Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful career coaches on how they built their success and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Davis Nguyen, and I'm the founder of Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. Before Purple Circle, I started and scaled several 7 and 8 figure career coaching businesses myself and consulted with 2 career coaching businesses that are now doing over $100 million each. Whether you're an established coach or just building your practice for the first time, you'll discover the secrets to elevating your coaching business.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Career Coaching Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Rexhen, and today's guest is Erica Yanney. Erica is a certified transformational life, career, and executive coach whose work has empowered thousands of global professionals to thrive in their careers, especially those navigating new cultures and job markets abroad. With credentials that include PCC, CPCC, MPTC, and CPRW, Erica brings a powerful blend of career strategy, mindset work, and personal transformation to every coaching relationship. Erica is the founder of Altitude Career Coaching, where she helps clients land dream roles, discover purpose-driven paths, and develop as transformational leaders. She's been recognized as one of the top 15 coaches in Philadelphia and has served professionals at companies like Microsoft, Oracle, Hershey, Disney, and SpaceX. After immigrating and changing careers later in her life, herself, Erica now specializes in supporting professionals through major transitions, offering clarity, confidence, and practical tools for lasting success. And it's a pleasure for me to have her on the podcast today. Welcome to the show, Erica.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you for coming. And tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to become a coach.
This decision to become a coach was a result of an identity crisis, maybe a midlife crisis. My past career was in music, and when my first daughter was born, I abandoned everything because there were some circumstances in her birth that created some challenges, and I knew even if a daycare would want to do their best work for her, it wouldn't be the same I could provide to her. So I abandoned the market. And it was a very difficult moment for me because I never planned to be a stay-home mom. And I think my identity was very connected to what I did. Once I wasn't working anymore, then who am I? What's my value? That's how I felt. Then, after my second child was born and he was 2 years and a half, I tried going back, and I did went back. I did go back to the job market. But what I did before, that was for me a source of great pleasure, wasn't anymore. I had changed as a person. I wasn't the same person. And somehow it didn't fit anymore in my life. So I went in this quest, and I am a believer in God. And I asked God, I want to do something for the world. I know I have so much to offer the world. I have potential and talents, but I don't know where to go. I'm totally lost, and I don't know what career to embrace. Give me the marching orders, and I'll march. But right now, I don't know where to go. And I was struggling like that. And then, meanwhile, a relative was looking for a job. And I knew about his potential, but he wasn't getting any interviews. He was for 3 years trying to get interviews, wouldn't even get interviews. Then I told him, you know what? Give me a resume. I knew nothing about resume writing at the time or career coaching. I didn't even know that this profession existed, to be very honest here. But to help my cousin I started researching, and then I started discovering career coaches, websites, and articles about how to write the resume. And I had a friend who was a hiring manager in his field, and I talked to her, and she gave me hints of what she, as a hiring manager, would expect to see in a resume. And then once I finished revamping his resume, in 2 weeks, this person who couldn't get an interview for 3 years got two interviews with two great companies, multinational companies. And I was like, wow, did I do that? So my therapist at the time told me, Erica, I think you should invest in becoming a career coach. Every time you talk about what you are doing with your cousin, you light up. Your voice changes, your energy level changes. And I told her, what? I will, after building my career in music, I play piano since I'm 7. Everybody knows me as a musician. I have a master's degree in music. Now, out of a sudden, I'll start from zero with something I never did before? No way. Till one day, I was listening to a message from a Brazilian pastor. His name is André Fernandes. The title of the message was Construct the Future. And it was about Noah. So, how Noah, up to a certain point in his life, was totally committed to building the boat and getting the boat ready to save his life, his family's life, and save the animals from the flood that was upcoming. And he said, then the flood comes, and how must Noah have felt? He had spent his entire life building the ark and focused on that. God had a purpose for him up to that point. But now God was calling him to a new purpose, which was to construct the future. And in constructing his own future, he was indeed constructing the future of the entire humanity. Wow, that message was exactly what I needed to understand that God was calling me to a new purpose in my life. And I embraced career coaching as a calling in my life. Next day, I enrolled in my first coaching course with the Professional Association of Resume Writers and Career Coaches and started my certification as a career coach. And I don't regret. It was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. I feel totally aligned with this role, and I found a lot of career happiness that I didn't think I could ever find beyond music. And I love what I do. I'm very passionate about what I do. It's my calling, as I said, and that's how it all started.
That is such an interesting story, and a powerful one. I really like your beginning as well. I actually interviewed for this podcast. I've interviewed a coach who also started her career in the music industry, and she was on the podcast. Her name was Elena Armijo. She transitioned from opera singer to coaching. So feel free to check out her episode as well, just to see how that resonates with you as well. But I really like how you transitioned into an industry that you actually make quite a bit of an impact to people's lives through helping them with their careers. So it's an amazing position to be able to do that, to be able to coach people and change their lives, impact their family lives as well through that. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. I wanted to ask you, when it comes to your coaching business, as a business itself, it's been about 6 years right now that you've been doing it. Which part of the coaching journey do you find the most rewarding since you started your coaching business?
I think the most rewarding thing is to watch the transformation in the lives of the people I serve and to see the impact in their lives and the success that they achieve. This for me has no price. For example, I worked with a client who couldn't pass any interviews, and he was in a moment of despair, without hope. His savings were coming to an end, and he was so discouraged and so negative about the situation. And then to start working with him and to see the transformation of a mindset that was so much in the negative, turn off to the positive, turn on actually, not off, right, to the positive. It was like such an experience. And then he went through interviews and could choose between three because he passed on three and then he could choose which one he wanted. And we were then doing a coaching session on how to choose between the three. Right. And so to see those results in people that would otherwise not find the light is the best thing. So, for example, my cousin, if I hadn't helped him with his resume, maybe he would still be out there believing that he was not capable, believing that, it was impossible, because it was just a matter of knowing how to have a better resume for things to happen. But without that professional help, he wouldn't realize that. So noticing how just a little bit, and it's not to say it's magic, it's not magic. Sometimes it's just a little bit of knowledge and empowerment that is necessary for the person to find the success they need. So seeing that happen and being an instrument on making that happen is so rewarding for me. There's no price that can pay for that.
And right now, when it comes to the people that you work with in your coaching business, is there a specific target audience that you're going after?
This is always a big question, right? If you go and work with marketing and marketing professionals, they will say, who is your persona? Build your persona. And I struggled a lot with it because I am a generalist at heart. And I do believe that the coaching process is neutral, and you can get the coaching process and apply to wherever you want. Apply to your life, apply to your career, apply to lose weighting, apply to teaching, apply to business development, apply to marketing, apply to anything, because it's a neutral process. And I always felt that I don't have a preference. I enjoy working with the person that is at the beginning of their career and just out of college. I enjoy working with the person that's lost and doesn't know even what college to pursue because they don't have idea of what they want to do with their lives. I enjoy working with the professional like me who is having a midlife crisis and like looking for meaning in their careers and want to rethink their next step in their careers and maybe change careers. I enjoy that. I enjoy working with executives. I enjoy everything in between. So, but when I thought, okay, if I have to pick something, I decided that I would love to work with global professionals because that was an experience that I had myself. As an immigrant, I came here because I married an American citizen. And I remember how it was to arrive here in the new country, sit and think, okay, I'm here, what now? Will they accept my degrees? How will they see that my degrees are from another country? How do I write a resume here in this new country? Is it the same as it is in Brazil? Is it different? And how does the American market work and how it is to work in an American company? How will I be seen by my coworkers? Will I be accepted? And how to adapt to the cultural environment here? So I decided to focus on the global professionals and people that either moved here as an expat themselves and they are trying to adapt to the new corporate world, or families of those who move as expats that then have to figure out how their professional lives will happen in the new country, or even those who come with the entire family through a visa that doesn't demand employment, like an EB3 visa, an EB2 visa.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to start from scratch, and they're even thinking, In which state of the United States do I want to live? How about school for my children? How about getting a driver's license in the United States and going through this enormous transition in their lives that involves not only career, but their whole entire lives, uprooting their entire life from a country to a new country. So I decided to focus on that, but to be 100% honest here, the truth is that I work half and half. Half my clients are Americans, and half of my clients are immigrants or global professionals, as I described before. So, in terms of marketing, I know that your podcast is very focused on marketing. In terms of marketing, I am my marketing 50-50 too. I do post things that could relate to anybody, and then I do some posts that are more directly related to the immigrant population. And I built my website in a way that when you enter there, it could apply to anybody. And then there is a page for the immigrants where the immigrants can find extra resources that are related to those things. How do I get my driver's license? How do I adapt culturally? What's the best place to live? What about health insurance? And how do I immigrate with a pet? Things like that, that are not directly related to career, but that for an immigrant, changing countries is highly relevant. So that's how I approach my in terms of who I coach in my career.
And you also talked a little bit about marketing, where you talked about your posting strategy as well. Is what would you say is where do most people find you right now?
LinkedIn. I think for career coaches, the main social media they should invest on is LinkedIn. LinkedIn got me out of the ground. I I extra to participate in what before was called, I think, something marketing. I don't remember the name they used before. And I'm there. They have to see that you are certified, that you have some qualifications. They qualify you first, and then once you are accepted, they have a system that generates leads for you. So LinkedIn took me out of the ground. At the beginning, I used it to announce on immigrant Facebook groups. That brought me some clients. And networking on immigrant groups also brought me some clients. And nowadays, I have some clients that come through Google search. For the beginner coaches out there, it takes a while, I think, for Google to realize that you exist and that you are there. So that didn't happen at the beginning. But after 6 years in the market, 5 years, it started happening that through Google, people would find me. And recently, I had a very unusual thing happening. Someone came to me from ChatGPT. He recommended them to me. It was interesting. It was the first time it ever happened. So be aware that that could happen as well. So LinkedIn is from where most of my clients come. But as I am coaching more and more and more, a lot of referrals are coming as well. So referrals are becoming very strong after 5 years, but it takes time to build your name. When I graduated from my first course, my coaching trainer told me, Erica, it takes time. You have to be patient. It's not like you're going to launch your website and all of a sudden people will come to you. No, it takes time to build your name and to have experiences, and then people who went through you start referring. And it was exactly like she said. It was after the fourth year that things started to really happen for me as a coach.
And when moving away from marketing, just to look at looking in the future, do you have any goals that you're currently working towards for the next 1 to 3 years with your coaching business?
Yes. At first, for me, it was like setting the foundation. If I am to say like a sequence of events, I first invested on my website. I think it was a good thing to do, to invest in a good website. And then I invested on social media. I think it's highly important to be present in social media. I started investing on everything because that's my personality style. I go with everything. And then I realized it's better if I pick the three that are bringing best results and then invest more on those three. I don't think that broadening too much is the way to go. It's better to be strong. And to be honest with you, I don't have a lot of followers, and it was so much through the posting on social media that it happened for me. Maybe other coaches will have different experiences. It was more through the LinkedIn lead generation that it happened. So don't feel, I think it's important to have a social media presence. And I think people nowadays, they visit your website, they will visit your social media to have a sense of your messaging and who you are. So, but don't think that having a big following is a condition for you to thrive. I don't think it is a condition. And for example, that the type of people that follow me and that I to attract, they are not people who are on social media so much. And when they are, not the type that expose themselves with likes and comments. But I'll tell you a story of why it's important to continue to post, even if you don't have a big following. I have a friend who knows me personally. She never gave me one like on my social media. But when her husband lost his job, she came to me. So people are following you, and sometimes there may be people following you, but not giving likes, but they are listening. They are observing you.
So you are.
And then,
Mhm.
yeah, when they need you, they'll come.
Yeah, that's an interesting point of view, meaning don't focus too much on these leading indicators such as likes, comments, or shares, or these indicators that are within the social media or even within LinkedIn, because it doesn't mean that only the ones that liked were actually the people who actually read it. A lot of people don't engage a lot in social media, but they are reading or they are paying attention to the content. So that is a very good point. Thank you for sharing that. And you also mentioned that when it comes to investments, you invest a little bit in the social media, right? In terms of like time investment. But when it comes to money investment, is there any investment that you'd like to share that you feel that actually made a difference in growing your coaching business?
I think that investing in having a quality website and in having posts that are graphically interesting and that showcase a certain graphic quality, I think it does pay off and create a better impression of professionalism. So I think it's important to have a good image online and good content online because you never know who will be reading. And when a client comes to you, for example, when a client comes to me through LinkedIn, I'm sure some of them go through the content. And I have had people that came to my complimentary meeting and said, I saw your videos, and that's what brought me here.
Mhm.
One person said to me, I came here because I noticed sincerity. I felt you're really wanting to help people and you're very sincere about what you do. I had another person come to me and say, well, you're a great public speaker. You speak very well in your videos, and that's what brought me here, you know. So it's important to generate an image of professionalism and quality. I think the quality of your website, the quality of your social media posts, visually and in terms of content as well, I think they speak to who you are. And the more you're able to create an impression of professionalism and quality and excellence, then the more people will trust you and the more you build authority in their eyes and connection as well to them to you.
Totally agree with that. Totally agree. That's also what right now with the coaching business. And you mentioned it well. You said you never know who's watching. We never know who's listening. We never know who's reading uh, the content that you're putting out. But oftentimes people would be interested. They're reading. They're paying attention. Right now, with the coaching business, what would you say is the biggest challenge that you're facing in further scaling the business?
I'll say that from a very personal standpoint, okay? I started this because I had a calling and I 100% believed that's what I should be doing. That's my calling. That's what I want to do. And there's nothing that will stop me. And I'm going to do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? With a very great determination and in a very purposeful way. But I had zero business experience. So I went with my purpose, my dreams, and my courage, and had to learn by doing how to organize my business, how to package my services, how to market myself. I didn't even have an Instagram account. I didn't even know how to use Instagram, to be honest. I was more of a Facebook person than Instagram. And it was a big journey of learning how to organize my business. So I think I reached a point where I think I did everything I could do for myself. And I'm proud of my journey. So I'm at the point now where I think to go the next step, I need support. So I just hired a business consultant that just started helping me reorganize my strategies and my business to scale
Mm-hmm.
further. So I would say that that was my biggest challenge, the lack of knowledge. But as coaches, we know we are never born knowing, but with a growth mindset, keeping yourself open to learning, to talking with other coaches. That was very important for me at the beginning to follow other coaches, to network with other coaches and see their advice, how they were doing. And I got many hints as to how I should do talking with other coaches that were older than me and that were more successful than me and learning from them what best strategies to apply. So I say that business development was the biggest challenge and continues to be a challenge that I've been working on and will continue to work on to succeed and to grow as a coach.
And right now, given that you just started working with a business coach, when it comes to like scaling your business, have you been able to figure out what was the main bottleneck?
Well, we literally just started. There's not much to it.
Ah,
I
okay.
took a course on digital marketing before with Brandon Burchard, who is one of the big names in coaching here in the United States. So I do have a sense,
Mhm,
and it took a while between deciding, okay, I need a business consultant or coach, and
mhm,
then finding the person that aligned with me and that aligned with personally and also in terms of vision. So we are at the beginning stages. I hope everything goes well. So far, so good. We are doing well. We are thinking of launching a membership and to start with a 5 challenge with videos on how to optimize your LinkedIn profile as a magnet for this membership. So this is the first goal that we have together. So we are preparing this 5-day challenge on LinkedIn optimization. And
mhm.
then from that, we will lead to the platform and create a membership with a cheaper price for the first 50. And then we are going to increase the price a little bit more to a realistic price after we attracted the first 50. So right now, those are my plans.
Cool. Thanks. Thanks so much for sharing all of that. And thanks much for coming to the podcast. Is there any final advice you'd like to give to other career coaches who are looking to scale their impact?
Yes, what I would say is start. Whatever is in your mind, is start. I recently read the book Hidden Potential from Adam Grant, a professor of organizational psychology at Penn. And in his book, he shows a graphic that's very interesting to see of people that wait to know everything to start versus people who start doing before they know everything. And then the graphic shows that people that start acting even before they know everything, the end result is much higher than the result is for people who they want to wait till they know everything to then start. Okay, because there is a growth that only happens when you have your hands on.
Mhm.
So if you wait to know everything, you are delaying that hands-on learning. So I would say set your goal, set your dream, think of the first step and take that first step. Momentum will build up as you take steps and steps into your goal. So don't wait to know it all. Start doing with what you know. Volunteer a lot at the beginning. I think that's great for you to understand who the client is and how you can best serve, and gives you the chance to optimize your services before you go and offer it for pay. So start doing at a minimum price or even as a volunteer and work your way through to optimize your product before you go and charge people and you'll do a bigger launch. So start with a softer launch and then grow, but start. Don't wait. Start.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Erica. And thank you for coming to the podcast. For anyone who wants to connect with you or find you, they can go into LinkedIn, Erica Yanney. So they'll be able to find you there. They can also go into the website, altitudecareercoaching.com. They'll be able to find you there. And if they go into the LinkedIn, they'll also find your email into the contact info. Is there any other way people can reach out to you?
I think those are the best ways. You can email me, DM me on LinkedIn, or go to my website and book a complimentary meeting and we can talk.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Erica.
I thank you. It was a pleasure being here. Congratulations for your wonderful podcast. I hope you are reaching and blessing many listeners out there. Congratulations and thank you for the invitation. It was a pleasure to be here.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This conversation was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. To learn more about Purple Circle, our community, and how we can help you grow your business, visit joinpurplecircle.com.